Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel, and in front of you, you are seeing my latest version of, well, space fighters. I really don't have much of a name for them, except for that they are called, by the name I have right here, just shooters. So I have this large shooter and a small shooter. Now, I'm actually going to start out by showing the small shooter. Small shooter is actually a modification of the Cannibal class ships I've had before, where they have the big grinders or welders on the sides. I've gone ahead and cut those off, and actually taken the large cargo container that I have in the center and rotate it. That way you have a small access port right behind this bulk of metal there, and another small one right behind this bulk of metal here, and then a bunch of pipes and nonsense popping out and hooking up all this. And actually I can copy it over here and show you this really quickly if I was to just go ahead and shut off mirroring, but go ahead and just cut this open here. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a mess of stuff. It could have been set up much more easily if I had shifted this gun forward or even just had the pipes come up through here, but for some reason it felt more befitting just to have it sort of bump up and then go all the way around. And of course you couldn't stick a pipe into the back of that, so they had to reach the top of it or the inner side, and I wanted these upper and lower guns to be farther forward than the ones here because it made a nicer look, I felt, at the front. Overall though, I'm very happy with the ship. Cockpit is pretty basic. It's just stuck onto that cargo container. It's got the two stopping engines as per the usual Cannibal models, but on the back here I did actually give it another set of engines, another line of engines right here. And then on the back here you might notice that this isn't sticking out as far as you might expect, where these flames would cause some damage if this was docking. Let me actually go ahead and delete this. But what you might notice is that there are also these tiny little thrusters here. So the idea is, once you go to dock this ship to refuel it and put more ammo, you basically press the 3 key on my keyboard, which I have set to a group, which is actually the rear engines. And you can see those large engines at the back shut off, so you can easily go ahead and dock carefully. Once you've docked and you're ready to go, you just simply fly very slowly forward using those engines. Once you're far enough away not to cause burn damage, then you then turn on your normal engines and get going again. Overall, combat-wise, it's a pretty nice ship, I think. It handles pretty well. As you can see there, I'm buzzing about, and you can see the speed at the bottom right very quickly changing when I do maneuvers. A slight overload there, but it very quickly goes away. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. This small ship doesn't actually have any missile systems on it, but I don't know, I think it's pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and buzz back down there. The inside of this is, you might have guessed, is pretty simple and straightforward. If you've seen the Cannibals ships, you already know how that works. That is basically where it has that large cargo container I was showing right here, and behind it is just basically big, huge pipes going all the way to the back for refueling. Anyway, let's move on from that ship to this ship, which is completely new. And I originally had hoped it would be, well, basically look like that. I started building it before I decided to just rework the Cannibal. Ended up obviously getting a bit bigger as I added more guns and stuff. You can see here at the front it has a humongous array of guns and some armor around the cockpit. And not much braking, you might actually notice. It's also got missile launchers, unlike the other one. So we got more guns, about double the amount of guns, and then 4 missile launchers stuck around here at each of these little corner points. Of course, these cannot be loaded through pipes, but everything else here is set up to be loaded through pipes. And then as for the braking, which I hinted at being pretty weak, you can see we have just an assortment of small thrusters around, because I couldn't really get a good spot to stick large thrusters here without damaging the overall feel of the ship and the fact that it's sort of round. So couldn't really do that. I did experiment with some stuff. I experimented with even putting more thrusters in there, which looked absolutely appalling. As we come along to the side, you can see we have a double wide layer of thrusters, sort of reminiscent of some stuff I built before, which flew in all sorts of different directions, but I think it's alright. And then down the middle of this, you might notice that it does have that big pipe again, which leads to here. Now, the inner workings of this ship, by the way, I should probably point out, this also has the same sort of system where you have a simple button inside to shut off these large engines, which it does have 8 of out the back here, and just use these little tiny ones to back you away and dock you when you're refueling and getting more ammo. But I should say the inside of this, as I was trying to say, if we buzz down here, you can see this is actually what it looks like. It's sort of just, it looks like some sort of strange engine, actually, I think. And yeah, it's a pretty odd mess. There's a few things here that are going red. I've actually fixed all those in the final version, but you can get a basic idea how it's all set up. At the very center of it, there's actually, in the final version, actually 3 of these, but they're the medium cargo containers. So it's actually got 3 medium cargo containers there. And then the pipes are actually coming out of the sides of those. Actually, I think there are 3 right here. So there's pipes coming out of them and then sort of joining everything together, and they go up and connect again over there. And it's sort of largely for redundancy. This is why the pipes are so much everywhere, instead of just having a pipe come out here, connect to everything, and a pipe come out here and connect to everything. I wanted them to actually loop around the whole thing to have redundancy. And of course, because I couldn't plug the pipes directly into the top or bottom of these because they don't have a connection point. Oh, and by the way, you can see where 2 of the gyroscopes are. There's actually a few more gyroscopes hidden inside the main body of that one. Now, oh, right, I should point this guy out while I'm over here, shouldn't I? This guy here is actually an altered version. Like I said, I was working with putting large thrusters for braking. This is basically one of those. I overall don't like it as much, just because if we were to fly up to this other one now, you'll see at the front it sort of has these nice little ridges that pop out that make it look like it's about to punch something or cut through the air. I don't know, I like it a lot more, so that's why I ended up going with this one in the end. If it turns out to be too hard to handle, that's always an alternative over there. It just doesn't have a paint job on it. That's the only real difference between the two. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and actually do some fighting practice right now. And to do that, I have a bunch of little drone things that I've set up down here. I call them drones. That's not really true. What they are is a simple gyroscope with an assortment of thrusters and a single little reactor and a single button here. And this button is set up to a group that has the thrusters, the gyroscope, and a beacon. That way I can tell where they are. And if I press that button, you can see it just turns that on and it goes flying. So now I can go ahead and set all of these off, and hopefully they don't actually hit any of my ships before I get in them. So let's just go down the list here. It's pretty cool, this new button system, just being able to tap these and have all these things go. And of course that gyroscope is set to override and also spin, so these should start spinning up and around, not just go in a straight line. Ooh, I missed that. There we go, and there we go. And now if I look around, you can see there's sort of like a big dome. It's pretty interesting to see, and they're buzzing about. So this should be pretty chaotic, and now I'm basically going to go ahead and use them for some target practice. So let's hop in here, let's press first person, switch to our weapons. I'm still in creative, so we don't have to really worry about running out of ammo. And let's go ahead and start taking some of these down. So I think I'm going to try to get this one here. And I don't know why I'm trying to treat him like an actual target and trying to get behind him. I should probably just start shooting, shouldn't I? So let's just try to annihilate some of these bastards. You can see the sound sort of coming in and out. There we go, he's gone. Little piece of him hit me. Oh, I should have probably put more of these little drones in. Imagine an army of like 100 of these buzzing around. Oh, that one sort of, I don't know where he thought he was going. Some of these seem like they're starting to lose their balance properly. It's pretty cool though, hunting them down. And of course with the weapons array so close to the cockpit, it does get pretty easy to be able to get a target lock on these guys and just tear them apart. Let's just start firing at the crowd of them. We have enough bullets here, we should be able to hit one. There we go, I managed to take one out. This little corpse just bumping into the back of me. Luckily the ship is largely made out of heavy armor, so it should be able to take any minor collisions without any problem. It's not like the old days where armor so easily, ooh, dang it, oh, he survived and then he turned. It's amazing what a mindless little drone can do and make it seem like it's actually got some personality to it. Oh dang, let's correct and get back down there. I'm getting distracted, I need to choose a target. Oh wow, look at him. I'm surprised he's not moving. I must have just shut off his engines. And there we go, took him out nice and easy. That's a lot of fun actually, just hunting down these little buggers. Let's go for you. Oh god! Okay, well he apparently sort of went for me. Minor damage. You can see we've torn open a lot of systems. We've actually lost a few weapons. Dang, gotta be careful. You could imagine if they ever get AI in here, suicide drones that are even more simplistic than this. Maybe a single thruster and a gyroscope. Single thruster, gyroscope, and a small reactor. And just some warhead stuck to the front that could be sent after you. And they might be smart enough to follow antennas or even manage to home in on just other specific things. How did I miss that guy? No harm done. I can get him. Come on, come on. There we go. And he's wasted. Now, not actually seeing any other ones on my screen right now, which is a bit strange. I guess maybe I took them all out, but I thought there were more still. Let's go ahead and fly back towards the station really quickly and see if there's more. There's a station over there. Pretty far away, actually. Oh, yep, there they are. They just popped in. There were a few more. Apparently, their range on their antennas, of course, is semi-limited, so that's why they of course disappeared. They're probably set to only be like 500 meters or so of view, and then they disappear. So I ended up getting too far away from them and could no longer see them. Now, of course, they do have antennas, and I do actually have antennas on this ship that are currently offline. So what I could do is turn on my antennas and just deactivate them, because they're of course set to be owned by me. So I could easily enough just shut them down. That's actually weird that his antenna went off. I must have managed to snag it with a single bullet or something. That's very odd. Come on, come on. There we go. I think that did him in. He's still got one functional engine. What the heck is he doing? Little bugger. Anyway, let's go ahead and reload, and we'll do some shooting with the other small ship, shall we? Alright, so I got the drones going again. I'm going to buzz back over here, and I'm going to hop in the smaller of the two shooters. And let's try to take these guys out now. Now, of course, last time I didn't even use the missiles, and this guy, of course, doesn't even have some, so it's not even an option. Now, you'll notice right away that this guy is slightly more zippy than the other one. I can get in here a lot quicker, and of course, he's smaller too, so which means I can pretty much get right up to it and still feel like have room to maneuver. Now, that's actually quite dangerous. Okay, I think they're hitting me. Ew, that was scary. I didn't think of that. Of course, they're gonna, in their sort of weird orbit, going to come back around and almost hit me. Very, very dangerous. If I had warheads stuck on these, it could have been the enemy. There we go. I think I took out his antenna. He's probably still flying, but if his antenna's gone, well, I won't worry about him so much. He's toast, pretty much. Let's carry on. There's one right there. Oh, come on. Oh! Wow, that guy just hit me on the left side. That was a bit scary. There we go. He's gone, pretty much. As long as their rear engines are out, I'm going to consider that a defeat for my little drone enemies here. And let's try to buzz back up there. Let's take this guy out. Looks like he's going to do a pass right past me here in a second. I can feel... Oh, no! Whoa, okay. So, apparently, probably because of the way the bolts were hitting him, it caused him to do a spin. And, of course, since he doesn't have any real control, he's just, you know, a mindless drone doing spins and rear thrusters on. What happens is it can cause him to spin, so he ends up basically facing back at me and stopping all of his momentum, which, you know, you wouldn't exactly expect a pilot to just face you and try to run back into you. Luckily, these drones are so small, so impact shouldn't be quite so deadly. This is actually feeling really nice. Nicer than the bigger ship, I'm saying. Nicer than the big shooter. I think it's just because of how maneuverable it is. Maybe if I put more gyroscopes on the other one, it would feel better, but at the same time, I don't know, something about the speed actually is pretty nice too, being able to catch up to these guys in half a second and begin unloading on them. Would be nice to test these ships out with an actual opponent. Maybe Aaron will be willing to do some combat in the near future with one of these ships, or maybe his own. I'll have to talk to him about that. Oh, that guy just went right over me. It's quite enjoyable to have something to shoot at. Oh, that was nice. Oh, he's still moving. Son of a gun. Oh, he's really still moving. Get... No! There we go. Be defeated. Come on, you little bugger. You don't got your antenna no more. And there we... is he still moving? There we go. Not anymore. And there's two left. Shall we take them out nice and quick now? And wasted. One left, which I just flew out of his range. Hopefully as I fly back towards the station, he'll show up again. Uh-oh, I don't know where he is. Maybe he crashed into something. Oh, there he is. I just happened to be flying in the right direction to find him. Come here, you little bugger. Ah, nope. You can hear those little bullet hits every now and again. And he's... Okay, apparently I took out those back engines, so he's not really doing anything. Let's just get rid of him. There we go. Anyway, guys, that's it. These two little ships, I'm actually really quite happy with. So, yeah. These ships should be up on the Steam Workshop probably within the next day or two. If you'd like to go ahead and download them and take a look at them for yourselves and use them. Yeah, they're pretty good. By the way, one last thing, the cockpits on them were set back, which is why you have this horrible flashing here. My original idea was the cockpit would be farther forward. I had to set them back because the bullets were actually hitting the cockpit if I was turning and shooting. So I had to set the cockpit back, and therefore you get blinded by those flashes. Anyway, thanks a bunch for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Look at that pretty ship.